You ought to tell somebody you ought to get better. You got to get better. Don't stay where you are. You can get better. I just want to let you know that you can get better because God wants more for you. Don't you believe God wants more for you? I'm not worried because they're cussing at my house. And some of you sit up and curse all week long. Use filthy communication and come in the church like you are an angel from heaven. But you better tell your neighbor, you got to get over that. If you want to go to heaven, you got to get over that. If you've been gossiping about folk and talking about folk, you got to get better. If you've been saying bad things, you got to get better. Someone out the holler, make me better. I got to stop cussing. I got to stop cussing. I want to be better. Anybody want to be better? I want to be whole. I want to be saved. I want to be healed. I want the Lord to come in my life. Lord, I'm not worthy that you should come under my roof. But God, if you would only speak the word, thy servant will be healed. For I am under authority. Lord, I got a high position, and that's our problem. When God promotes us, we think that we are higher than God. I've come to serve you. Notice it doesn't matter what your position is. Nobody is higher than God. There's only one God. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and nobody can take God's place. Not the president, not the queen. Nobody can take God's place. He is God all by himself. He made the world out of nothing and scooped out the deep blue sea. He blew into man's nostrils after making man, and man became a living soul. He has the power of life and death in his hand. He can speak to death, and death will let you go. He spoke to death. He called Lazarus' name, and Lazarus had to get up. He touched the captain. Oh, yeah. If Jesus comes to your house, every dead issue, every dead thing have to resurrect. He's God all by himself. I am a man under authority. I've got soldiers under me. And I say to a man, go, and he goeth. And I say to another, cometh, and he cometh. Do this, and he doeth it. And when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them, follow, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, not one in Israel. I wonder would Jesus say that to you today, that your faith is a great one? Would he say your faith is a little one? Or would he say you have no faith? You see, you've got to be in one of the categories. You either have no faith, little faith, or great faith. Little faith insults God because he's bigger than your issue. With all of your excuses, without God, you wouldn't even be living. God wants our faith to be increased. It was the disciples that said, Lord, increase our faith. How can I get my faith increased? I've got to hear the word of the Lord. That's why the devil doesn't want you in a church where the word is being taught and preached, because he doesn't want your faith to increase. And you see, I know that if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you could speak to the mountain, and the mountains will have to go. But if you have great faith, you can do so much more. See, great faith is crazy faith. I believe God against all odds. I don't care if it's raining. If God says stop, it has to stop. You will have a witness in here. I don't care if they're dead. If the Lord calls their name, they have to get up. I don't care if the doctor said they're not going to live. If Jesus says to live, they've got to live. That's great faith. Because against all odds, I believe God. Is there anybody here who will just say with me, I believe God? No matter how it looks.